do these without having them set up in the FTO tab, but I see we have cadets now, so I'm gonna just assume
Yeah,
we're
just do
using
like
this.
shift 3 session, whatever it is.
Okay. Wait, I will do that. Awesome.
Oh yeah. All right.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. Yep.
Wait,
Later.
wait, what happened? Did you ask how I've been?
No.
Oh, have you been?
But in that case, how have you been? Yeah.
I'm great. How are you?
Me too. We gotta ride together sometime. It's been a long time.
I know, definitely.
Yeah, I feel like you hate me.
Why?
I don't know, a variety of reasons.
Okay, I'm gonna paint you a picture.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have any paint, so I'm gonna spit.
I think you should only spit on Ziggy. I think that would be a bit of a conflict of interest if you spit on me.
Yeah. TLDR, whatever is happening or has happened between yourself and Etta is between you and Etta. I hold no reservation. I'm here to do my thing. I know you and I be cool. We be chill.
Mm-hmm.
And I plan on keeping it that way. But whatever happened is none of my business. And I feel like my opinion...
when I ride with you, I'll tell you.
I don't want you to ride me. I want to ride together, but like...
Yeah, that's what I said. When I ride with you, not when I ride you. But I understand, you know, because of how your brain is wired, that's probably just the first cognitive thing that you heard.
I know.
But
it's hard.
What? Right?
No.
Why?
Okay, I realized I came out wrong.
Why? Usually.
Just... Eric.
Goodbye.
Hang up.
Goodbye.
Oh, God. Flappy, you're such a whore.
Okay, yeah, it's 100% peanut.
141, they at least keep trying to figure out how to tackle this for time being. I'm gonna add my information and make sure I'm fitting.
Yeah, he told me he's in Cuba, smoking cigars with Fidel Castro right now, and he can't meet with me.
I don't think that means it's 100% him there.
Victim, what I got in reference to report, I'm not gonna say on the radio, just reference to report. Right now we have suspicion that he's involved. I don't think we have probable cause.
Yeah, there's not PC, but just everything adds up for it to be him. I mean, there's a lot more to it.
125, I just got on radio. Are we talking about the description of the person possibly? I heard Peanut. Are we implying what happened with Kit?
Hey, firm. We're saying the robbery that happened before the storm led to the shooting that happened at Senior Buns. In addition, there was an incident that led to the incident at Senior Buns that happened an hour before the robbery of the officer. So multiple things are connected, we believe.
I have the victim's phone number because I spoke with him about an hour and a half ago. After there was a report that Peanut was running people over at the Senior Buns. So I went to the Senior Buns, and I got a statement from him and somebody else who's still working there
where
right
the
now.
fuck are you?
So I believe that Peanut is trying to get these guys back for snitching on him for running somebody over. Because whenever I talked to Peanut, he was claiming that those guys had it out for him. And when he showed up to the Senior Buns, apparently he walked in, he said, I told y'all I was going to get my get back, and then just shot him with basically no other, no nothing. He just shot him and then ran out. So the fella, I just spoke with him. I'm going to call him again to clarify, but he said he believes it's Peanut because Peanut made a threat to him as well prior to prior to the storm. I'm supposing, but he said a little bit earlier. That's the long and the short.
Go.
Yes.
God damn it! Don't salute me. Jesus Christ.
My bad. My fault.
Oh my God! You better have been saluting that fucking flag and not me.
I was. Yeah, I was. This flag right here.
Not the American flag, Coco.
Well, that as well.
Holy shit! We're off to a great start, aren't we? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. All right. Well, hi, Coco.
How's it going?
I'm taking you.
Okay. You're taking me.
I'm taking you.
Okay. I would like to be taken.
All right. So this is gonna be your 5th session, correct?
Yeah, I haven't missed a day. Well, actually, yesterday technically counted as 2 days because I was out for like 9 hours for the bear. I don't know how that works, but
Okay.
I was here every day, but there was one day before yesterday where no FTOs took anybody out, so it was kind of I guess yesterday made up for that.
I got you. Okay. Well, let's give her a go. Let's get you out there. Do you know how to put yourself under me to operate?
Are we gonna be going under your call sign or mine?
Let's go under your call sign. Actually, I'll operate under you.
Okay.
Bear with me. How do I do this again? How do I get rid of this? Yeah. Oh, awesome.
All right, I got you.
Awesome. All right. Great. All right. My car's already outside. We'll go ahead and get out and go from there.
Okay.
Hey, were you good?
I'm just eating.
Okay. All right. As long as you're good.
Yeah, sure.
Come on, Coco.
I'm ready. I went over all the announcements. I looked over the bolos and the warrants. I saw that you had a warrant out for someone.
Yes, actually. One of the most important things to do when you start your day is to check the warrants, which is good. So in today's, we got Bobby Brown and we have, oh God, Erwin Dundee. That's a, ooh, this is a spicy one.
Yeah, I was reading that as well. Mass stabbing.
Interesting. All right.
Yesterday it was mostly a senior buns day for me. And I think I wrote like 3 or 4 reports just for senior buns.
Yeah, that sounds about right. How do you feel with report writing? Do you have any strengths or weaknesses you're feeling?
Honestly, my report writing, I would say is one of my strongest. I feel like because yesterday it was my biggest learning. We actually jailed a couple people, so I got the whole processing procedure. A bunch of reports. I jailed Mr. Abdul for multiple stabbings yesterday at Senior Buns. That report is incident number 1268.
There's a new flop with the bottom. What the fuck?
I'd say my strengths mostly are traffic stops. I can conduct a traffic stop fully, like on my own. I can write reports on my own. Radio traffic has definitely been improving. Case law has also been studying like crazy.
Actually,
SOPs, been practicing like a lot of the difference between reasonable suspicion, probable cause, etc.
yeah. Let's go down that rabbit hole real quick. So
Okay.
I see. I'm looking through your stuff here. I see SOPs. How do we feel about the SOP so far? Do we feel like we're getting a good grasp and understanding?
Yeah. At the beginning, I would say my first 2 sessions with the FTOs, I was like, it caught me off guard, the quizzing. But since then, I've been studying like really in depth. I will say that I've been going the extra mile on my studying, so I feel pretty confident with almost any question you ask me.
Use of force matrix.
Use of force. Are you saying like the 4 different uses of force?
Mm-hmm.
The first one is it's Verbal is one. I know that's one. There's less lethal. Lethal.
155, 1040.
And I'm missing one. Verbal, like, so verbal judo is just de-escalating with your voice. Less lethal would be
I
obviously,
don't
like,
think the music
taser
loud.
or
I just think that
tackling
Coco
not
is
tackling,
quiet as
sorry.
fuck.
Open hand.
I'm gonna let him.
So it would be
Hello.
how's it going? So presence, verbalization, lethal, less lethal, and open hand.
So
Yeah, she caught me off guard there. No one's asked me that one yet.
no, you're good.
I
I'll tell you what. We'll break it down. So you kind of got it. You are missing a couple little steps there.
okay.
Go and catch you up to speed. So there's 5 levels of force, not 4. So level 1 is officer presence. That's just simply the presence of officers. So for example, if we arrive on scene and there's one of you and there's 3 people,
Like
your presence isn't going to be very viable.
We're
Slow
westbound
down!
on Andreas Avenue with one group 6 fan occupied ×1.
So typically you would ask for a backup unit. The more we are in number, the less likely someone is to commit a crime, right? Our presence deters crime. People are not going to commit a crime if there's chance of repercussion, right? Number 2 is verbalization. Level 2 is us using our voice, and our voice is, you'll hear our most powerful tool and or weapon. Dispatch 125, show me 1041 operating under 869. So our point of our voice is to always try and de-escalate a situation. We want to try and de-escalate before we have to escalate.
Right.
And what I mean by that is we want to try and stop crime verbally before we escalate to wanting to, tell someone, listen, if you don't get out of the car, the ultimatums come in, right? If you don't do this, I'm going to do this, right? So we want to work on verbalizing, hey, why don't you put the weapon down? Why don't we figure this out? That's level 2.
That's one of my strong suits, I feel, in situations, because even yesterday we had apparently the guy has a lot of history with the city. I think Turner maybe hit him with a car or something, and he was absolutely, like, he was asking for lawyers, everything else, and he would not speak to anyone. And I feel like I was using some even out of anyone, I feel like he was like the most calm with me. I was trying my best to, like, I think that's one of my strong suits, is speaking to people out of anything.
No, that's good. That's great. That you're gonna speak more than which is good.
Yeah.
So that's level 2. So level 1 is presence. Level 2 is verbalization. Level 3 is empty hand control. So empty hand control
1030,
usually implies tackling, something that would involve you not having anything in your hand. You want to make the attempt to tackle, right?
Okay.
So that's your empty hand control. Is just anything that doesn't involve having something physical in your hand at any point. Typically we use this chasing a suspect, trying to stop them, right? Whatever we can do to stop them. Level 4 is less lethal. Less lethal. Do you know why it's called less than lethal?
Because if you use it on them, they're not gonna be lethally injured.
So flip it around. The reason we call it less lethal sometimes you'll hear somebody refer to a taser as like a non-lethal weapon, right?
Right.
We call it less than lethal or less lethal because there's still a chance of doing injury to somebody, right? Somebody has side effects to the shock of a taser. You could kill them, right? And if we claim it as non-lethal, we're going to treat it as something that isn't lethal whatsoever. Reality is this. Your taser can be lethal. So it's less lethal than our firearm. It's the step below level 5, which is lethal. So it goes from less lethal.
You actually are correct. I've recently seen a video on Twitter of somebody with hand sanitizer all over him. He got tased and he actually caught on fire.
Christ. Yeah, I mean, that is a very specific video that I feel like has been on my Twitter feed before. Other things that include less lethal would be your baton. This one's a little bit more specific. We don't use the baton if somebody.
They have to be physically combative, right?
Yes.
Right.
And then obviously level 5 is lethal. We always want to go one up from what the person is using, right? So let me ask you a question. If someone's running from you, what are the ways that you would use to try and stop them?
The first thing I would do is tackle them if they were not complying to stop. If I was attempting to cuff them and they broke through my cuffs, then I would pull out less lethal, being a taser. If they broke out of my cuffs, then I would continue to chase them and eventually tase them if they were still not complying.
Okay. Yeah. The big important thing that we want to drive in is if you're going to be using your taser, you want to make sure that at that point or in that position, they have at least made an attempt to pull away from you or have made some sort of physical attempt to break the opportunity of cuffing. At that point, then we use the taser. Now, there are going to be situations probably where that gets skewed a little bit, which is fine. I mean, obviously it would depend, right? If they've been predeterminedly combative or, you know, maybe punched an officer, that would be a different situation. In an instance where somebody is physically combative, we still want to warn them, hey, stop that or you will be beat. And this is where verbalization comes in, as regardless of the level. We want to do our best to verbalize what we are doing, verbalizing everything. Hey, I'm going to be placing you in cuffs. Do me a favor, watch your head. I'm placing you in the vehicle. Do not resist. I'm going to be, you know, hey, I'm going to be feeling you, frisking you. Do you have any weapons on you? All right, I'm going to feel your waistband here. Sir, I'm going to be searching you at this time. I'm going to place your finger against this. I'm going to be running a fingerprint on you. We want to verbalize everything that we're doing. Okay. And in situations where people are combative or we're in a situation where you need to let someone know something, hey, Coco, if you don't stop running, I'm going, or, you know, you punch an officer and you run.
Hold on, I don't want to interrupt you here, at all. But do you see anything in the sky, right above you here?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure I'm not hallucinating.
No, you're fine. Welcome to Los Santos. This city is
Dispatch like 169 and 1038 West San Vespucci Boulevard. With like one silver SUV that's like beating the shit. Occupied times 2.
Yo, what's up, Deceit? How you doing? Good morning. Good morning. Sorry. So what was I saying before? Oh yeah. Ultimatums are very important, right? Being sure that people are aware and are very. You want to make sure that the person that you're chasing has no question in mind that your next steps or what you're going to do. You know,
just tell them every step of what you're doing, so it's verbalized to them that they know exactly what I'm doing at all times, essentially.
Yeah. You punch a cop. You're different story. You're running for me.
I did that once.
Yeah, you're running for me. You tackle me. Yeah, you're fucking right. You did. You tackle me, and then you continue running. Right now, you have made an attempt to you know, not injure me, but you've made an attempt to be physical with me.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would then say, Coco, stop running. If you tackle someone again, or if you tackle an officer again, you will be beat. At that point, you are now fully aware and intact with the idea that you're gonna get your ass beat if you try that again. Somebody reaches for a knife, and you tell them, put the knife away. Put the knife away. You know, I have told people flat out. There was a situation I had. I was chasing a guy on foot. I had my taser out. I thought I had my lethal out. And I tased him. And as I went to tase him, he pulled out a gun to try and shoot me.
No way.
And I happened to get the tase off before he pulled the trigger. And I told him,
holy moly,
sir, if you resist cuffs, I am going to put one in your head. You are going to get shot. And the guy resisted cuffs, and sure as shit, I shot him.
Oh my goodness.
But there's situations you're gonna run into where you're gonna have to tell people like, hey.
Oh. I mean, to do comms?
Yeah. I want to hear your radio.
Okay.
Why is he still going?
Dispatch 869 1038 eastbound.
Go and pull it over.
In Elgin. Gonna be blue in color Glendale.
Pull it off to the
occupied 3
right.
times.
Am I pulling out of the intersection a little bit?
My bad.
No, you're good. I just keep me out of the intersection. Thank you. I appreciate it. Engine off. All right.
133 backing up the 77's request from Rhodes. That's inevitably going to happen by him going to senior bus.
Hello.
Hey there.
How you doing? Flop Dugong LSPD badge number 125. Could I get some
Hey
license
there.
and registration, please?
Sure thing, no problem.
No other reason for a stop today?
Be 23 the parking
No,
lot across
officer.
from senior buns.
You don't know why you're being stopped today, Mr. Ben?
Excuse me, I didn't quite hear that.
I said you don't know why you're being stopped today, Mr. Ben?
I'm not quite sure. Maybe I ran an orange that ran too close to a red.
Let's try that again. Let's try that again. You ran a red light. In fact, not only did you run a red light, you ran 3.
Well, you know how these goobers go, you know?
No, actually, I don't. Usually, the way I understand goobers is people follow the traffic laws to get to the point A to point B.
Well, you know, the fella in the back, he really wants to get to his destination real quick. So, you know, he insisted, I insisted. But, you know, I'll take responsibility.
Hold on.
I'll take responsibility.
I'll help him. What's the gentleman's name?
Let me check for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a Mr. Chenghua Singleton.
Mr. Singleton, hi, my name is Flop Dugong. I just wanted to let you know formally that I'm sure you use Goober pretty often. Most people that use it are usually repeat customers. So just for your future Goober expenses, I want to let you know that I don't give a flying fuck how quick you need to get from point A to point B. People need to follow the traffic law, and there's no amount of money, dollar, or compliance you could follow through to get you from point A to point B quicker. If you have to get to somewhere quicker, I recommend you buy a plane ticket, sir. Anyway, I'm gonna go and run your info, Mr. Tech. I'll be right back with you. I'm gonna leave you here with Officer Coco, all right?
Sure thing.
Awesome.
No problem.
How's Gruber treating you?
You know, I just had a rough couple of runs earlier today.
I'm
so
through.
I've been
I'm
trying to-
through.
I understand.
I fucking hate Black
do you
Bear.
know the
I don't
speed
know
limit in
why.
the city?
About 60. Last I
Yeah,
heard.
I'll let you try one more time. I'll let you guess one more time.
40.
Getting better, getting closer.
Oh boy, you don't know.
35.
There you go.
8510.
35 miles an hour. That was the speed limit. Just,
The Hot
I
Girl
feel like
Summer.
it's good
That song
information
is
for
so
you to,
overplayed.
you
It's
know.
like
I know you weren't speeding.
every song on the
but,
fucking
I'm
radio.
not sure if we got you on the radar there, but you did blow through a red light. I was just making sure you knew the.
I'll keep that one in
speeds.
mind.
Yeah, I'm just trying to do you a favor. That's all.
Thank you.
No worries.
All right, Mr. Ben. So let me give you a rundown. I heard you talking to Officer Mars over there regarding speed limits. Are you aware of all the speed limits we have? Public knowledge you can find in legislation. If not, it's perfectly okay. I see you haven't been pulled over before.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So do you know the speed limit in the city now?
35.
Perfect. Outside of the city, driving up north, let's say on the highway, do you know what the speed limit is on highways?
65, I would assume.
You're close. 75.
All right.
75 or below. And do you know Route 68 by chance?
I'm not too sure. Is that the one that goes all the way up north?
That's the one that cuts between Sandy Shores. It's like the halfway point road that cuts east and west between like Sandy and the city. Or I guess between.
Yeah, I know that one.
So that road, as well as Sonora Road, which leads south back into the main part of the city, those two roads are 55 miles an hour.
I see. I got you.
If you could do me a favor and keep it 35 or below in the city, I would appreciate it.
All right.
Honestly, I'm less concerned about your speed. Your speed was a little quick, but I wasn't super pressed on it as much as I was the 3 traffic lights you ran. I need you to do me a favor. This is big, especially for the passenger in the back and for your sake as well. I don't want you to hurt anyone, including your passenger, yourself, or others. I need you to stop at red lights. If you're making a right on red, I need you to stop, look both ways, and yield for any traffic or anybody on foot, maybe using the crosswalks. If you could do that for me, I have no problem giving you a verbal warning, as long as you're aware that we've had a full-on discussion about the ways of the road. And if I catch you doing anything now, at least I can look at you and say that, you know, you're educated and understanding of what transpired, Mr. Tech.
I completely understand.
All right, Mr. Tech. When I'm back in my vehicle, my lights are off, you'll be free to go. I'm giving you a verbal warning today, okay?
Sure thing. Thank you so much.
All right, not a problem. You take care, Ben.
You
Have a
too.
safe day, Mr. Tech.
You as well.
Dispatch 869. We're gonna be code 4 traffic on Elgin and Vespucci. 10-8.
Nice.
Seemed like a nice guy. Although that was a lot of red lights.
Yeah, I do my best to work with people. I think working with people is
The
important.
roads,
If I'm giving you a verbal warning, I give you the full rundown. I give you top to bottom, because now if I pull you over again, right? I make a note on their profile that they've been warned. Now if I pull them over again, they're aware that, you know, they have got the rundown as to the speed limit. And oh, I got Maple calling me. I'm sorry.
You're good. Take your time.
Hey, what's up, Maple?
Hey, Flop. Loki he doesn't have your phone number, and he wants it. Can I give it to him?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. That's it.
Tell him I love him.
Okay.
Awesome. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
See, thank you so much for the 1,000 bits. I appreciate it.
Question for you.
I don't know why.
On stops when you do like say you're just giving them a verbal warning and it's not a written warning, do you still are you still creating an incident report at that point, or are you just gonna mark it on their profile?
I know some people do make a report. I just tag their profile that they've received a warning. Personally, if I feel like it was something pressing that needed it. So for example, something pressing that needed it. Just an example, there was a guy driving earlier with a Group 6 vehicle, but it wasn't the van, it was the big armored truck.
Yeah, I was just reading that actually.
Yeah, Maple had him earlier clocked at 93 miles an hour in that thing. And I caught him running through an intersection. I didn't clock him, but at excess speeds, opposing lanes. And I pulled him over and I told him flat out, I said, I'm giving you a negligent driving ticket. I told him though, I said, some people may argue that this isn't reckless driving. I said, I'm going to tell you flat out, you are driving recklessly. You're driving an armored vehicle, probably gross weight between 15 to 20,000 pounds.
Yeah.
You are most likely not driving this vehicle in a light that would not only, because what's reckless in nature is the fact that you're operating a vehicle at those speeds, not following traffic laws. 100% at that point, I would articulate that vehicle is more reckless on the road than a club or your little two-door sports car.
Right.
Because you're not going to be hurt in a crash. That guy's going to maul and kill whoever. There is no injury involved doing 100 miles an hour on that thing. The only thing that's going to be left is the cube that you ran off the road. So there's times like
a lot of it's like officer discretion at some points, right?
Most of traffic is officer discretion, yes.
Yeah.
I'm very lenient with people because everybody gets one. I will give you a misdemeanor, but I'm gonna fucking ream your ass out for that misdemeanor, because next time I catch you doing it, there is no ifs, ands, or buts at that point. Now you know you just fucked up.
Yeah.
Thank you, Decito, seriously, for the 1,000 bits. I greatly appreciate it. What the fuck? So, just to go back to the 5 levels of force, do you remember them? Do you want to give them to me real quick?
Yes. Presence would be one. That's would be being on the scene, showing presence.
Codes welfare check.
Just being there. The second one is verbalization. It would be just calming the situation down with your voice. Trying to do the best you can to de-escalate the situation. And then the third one would be empty hand control, which would be tackling the suspect or pushing them, or et cetera.
Oh, this is a rock cover.
Less lethal would be
That's
taser
probably pretty
baton.
good.
The baton being if the suspect was physically combative, and then the last one would be lethal, which would be obviously your firearm. Because I guess the baton is and can be lethal in some instances,
McNulty, can you
as
tell
we've
me
seen in
where
Academy.
closest clear-arm hiding in the
It
corner?
is a blunt object.
Yeah. So I think that one is that one's questionable, obviously, but like,
Those
according to
looks
the
clear
SOPs,
to leave a fast food restaurant and walk to your car, Rhodes.
less lethal.
Oh, thank you.
125, 76 senior buns to assist the backup for 130.
He's out now.
Is he in his vehicle?
Yes, this is what we've become.
130 from 125?
I go for 130.
Is your door locked?
It was.
Keep it locked. 125 back in service. It's a rock cover for Black Bear. I think I wouldn't mind. I just don't like Black Bear.
13376 latest 37 South Milton.
130, same traffic.
I'm trying to think if there's any other questions I have. How do you feel about case law?
Case law is something on my first 2 sessions that I struggle with really bad. But what I did was, so I would imprint them in my brain. I was thinking, whenever I do my ride-alongs, I would stick sticky notes to the dash to always remind myself when I was being quizzed. But I just making mental. It's more of like a mental note now. I feel pretty confident with the case laws.
Okay. I'll tell you what. We'll start easy because you said you were talking about it before. Difference between RS and PC?
RS is obviously reasonable suspicion. It has to be more than a guess. It has to be a crime that has been, is being, or will be
where any
committed.
vehicles flee west and then south.
What are some examples you would use for reasonable suspicion? If you don't know, that's fine. I know you're still in cadet phase, but some examples of like what would count as RS?
Reasonable suspicion would be you get a call to let's say a robbery, and you show up to the robbery, and you see a vehicle fleeing the scene. That would be reasonable suspicion to pull the vehicle over and question and possibly frisk the suspect. I would say that you have enough reasonable suspicion to investigate further in that situation. That would be an example. Another one would be...
Let's take the example out of it. Like, what are some things that you would do on a scene with a suspect that would fall under RS to help further your investigation?
Vinewood, take off northbound.
I would start off by questioning them and letting them know they're being detained temporarily, and I would let them know that I'm frisking them to find out any
I had a
potential weapons. If I find a weapon, then it gives me grounds to search.
That's the route they went.
What are you searching for?
I've seen a few vehicles go up in that
It depends on the situation. If it's a violent or physical altercation or something along those lines, I'd be looking for, or like it's like a stabbing, I guess I'd be looking for a bulge. And if I seen a bulge, that would if they denied that they had a weapon on them, that would give me grounds to have probable cause that they have a knife on them or some sort of weapon if they're denying it.
Not necessarily true. So let me break this down for you. This is something that I had to learn, and I had a hard time understanding at first. But
okay.
So when you're frisking, you're feeling their person for a bulge, right? You're feeling for something that would imply a weapon. When you search that bulge, you're just looking for what that bulge is.
Right. Yeah. And like if you feel marijuana or something like that, you can't actually search for it. Because that's not what you're looking for, right?
So,
something along those lines. If you feel something else,
when you frisk somebody, Chad, I gotta tell you something. I ordered something. When you frisk somebody, you're feeling for the bulge. If you feel a bulge, when you search their person, you're only searching for that bulge and what you feel. You're not searching their entire person.
Right.
A full
So
search,
you wouldn't feel a piece of paper, or you wouldn't feel a little baggie of weed.
Yeah, a full search is probable cause. If you feel a bulge in their left pocket, you're only searching their left pocket.
Right now, question. This is like, I guess a little bit more in depth. But if you feel a bulge and they're denying that they have any type of weapons on them or anything like that, then what is the case? Would that give you probable cause to then search for exactly what that bulge is?
If you feel a bulge and you can definitely feel it, I don't care if they tell you it's a toy, you have to check to see. And if now this is where things get interesting. You can only search for the bulge. Now, if you search for that bulge and it is something that is illegal, you search them.
Dispatch
Say it's a PD firearm.
23 South
Now you have probable cause to do a full search on everything in their pockets.
Down the street. We're gonna find its owner.
Another example: if you frisk them, you respond to it like somebody beating somebody with a crowbar, and you frisk them, and you feel that they have a crowbar on them, and you inspect the crowbar and there's blood on it. You probably have probable cause for an arrest at that point, right?
Yeah.
Now, even though the
evidence.
crowbar was used in the act of a crime, you have reason to believe that the person that has a giant bludgeon mark on the top of their head, 5 feet from the guy who has a bloody crowbar, probably was the one that beat him. So at that point, you can do a full search on the person. But a frisk and a bulge is not PC to search. A frisk is still RS and is still giving you it is a tool to investigate, right? You respond to a situation, someone's been beaten.
133, I need to pick up.
Oh God. What's your 20?
Matt Wayne Thunder. Any cars, locks, or scuffed?
Matt 36.
That scared me.
No, you're good.
Disregard.
I thought that like someone stole his car or something.
Sorry, dudes. I know FTOing isn't like super like poggers and fun and fast and quick, but I feel an obligation to teach people, a little bit as to how to do cop RP, because it's the least that I could do in order to hopefully encourage others to get out there, and I'm helping out. Listen, it's not gonna be me doing it, but I'm letting you know now. You can't be crossing the street like that. Technically, you're crossing over a double yellow. If you get hit, you're not gonna. You're gonna be the one getting fucked over. It won't be the person that hit you. Okay?
Yeah, I already been hit a couple times.
Okay. Well, I'm just letting you know that in a case where a semi runs you over and you're doing that, it's not gonna be the semi's fault. You got to be careful. Okay? If you're gonna be crossing into traffic, you need to look both ways. And I'm telling you now, it's a double yellow. Technically, that's illegal. I won't be the one to charge you for it, but just keep that in mind, okay?
All right. Yes, sir.
All right.
You have a safe day.
You too.
People love those bikes.
Oh yeah, people love them. So
the amount of times I've seen a naked guy with he had like a hospital gown on with his underwear showing, running down the street just holding a bike, running for miles. I was actually that was the day that we saw him, the day that you guys pulled me over. And then I went back to the apartments and I talked to him, and he was under the impression that it was a motorcycle and it wouldn't start and it was making awful noises.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Dispatch 107, we were unable to locate the dog's owner. However, we did just see a black
do you understand sort of why frisking is not PC for like a full search?
Just a heads
yes,
up, I pulled over
I
a black
do.
Glendale. I don't know if I have the plate, but
do you have any questions about it, like as to why that's the case?
who is the
it's just every
driver of
situation
a
is going to be
Glendale
different,
used
but
to
I do
escape
understand
police
why
sometime in the
RS
past week,
gives
and we arrested him with the person he picked up.
you the ability to frisk, and
How many
probable cause
how many times
is like
occupied?
I feel like I understand the
His
difference
was
very
occupied
clear
once, but
on
he
when you
had
can frisk
friends
and when you
approach,
can search.
and
Yeah.
there's 2
So,
in the other Glendale, which
in a
I
situation
also
where
believe
there's an
in one.
altercation with people stabbing each other or a knife, we're frisking
there's
for
Glendale's
a
occupied
potential
4 times.
weapon, right? Help aid us in our investigation. If we respond to shots fired, we GSR test them. You always GSR test them.
Right.
If it's shots fired and you have people on scene, everybody is subject to a GSR test. If they are positive, you then frisk them. When you frisk them, if you don't feel anything, then it's possible that they ditch the gun. Maybe, you know, hey, why are you GSR positive? When was the last time you shot? Blah, blah, blah. Go down that line of questioning. You have all that. But it depends on the situation. A frisk can turn into an arrest, but it's not an immediate reason to full search somebody for everything on their person.
Right. One thing I've been getting in the habit of, even if it's just like something minor, like after I frisk them and like I find if I do find what I'm looking for, I'll usually just ask their permission to search them, and like most of the time they'll just say, yeah, go ahead.
That's the other thing. Permission is a huge thing that no one thinks about. Hey, are you cool if I search you?
Yeah.
No. Okay, sir, at this time I'm going to be frisking you. Perfectly okay to ask if you can consent. As funny as it is, consent is actually one of the like best tools that we have. If somebody consents to a search, then congratulations. There's your PC for a search, right? It doesn't essentially make them a suspect, but depending on the information that we have arriving on a scene, you know, you have that. I'm giving you a lot of the technicalities right now.
Yeah, no, that's important because I've been going over the basics. Obviously, like I've been out. I think I've been out every chance I possibly have gotten because I'm trying to get to be a PO as soon as possible. I feel like I'm trying. I usually am a good learner, a quick learner, but like obviously this is a crazy amount of information.
This is
So
a
it's
lot
like,
of
it's good-
information. It's
good
gonna be a lot.
It's good to go over it repeatedly, and I think that's like it's helpful to even if I've been over it before, it's good to go over it again.
Yeah. So to go back to case law, then I know we kind of got on a tangent, but what is the difference between RS and PC? So examples of RS. I'll break this down for you so you know it. Someone's gonna ask you one day, what are examples of things you can do with reasonable suspicion? You can question them, you can frisk them, you can examine a person to check if they have markings on them. Feel for a bulge, stuff like that. GSR test. Those are tools that we have for RS. For PC, you now have an arrest. You now can search the person. At that point, you can confiscate anything illegal from them.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it, actually. Like it's kind of like stage 1 and stage 2.
Exactly. RS will always come before PC, unless you physically witness the crime.
Right.
And at that point, you can immediately jump to PC. Oh, here we go. Oh
boy.
You know what? They honestly weren't going that quick. I'll give them the pass for now.
I got him 45. I don't know what you got.
I didn't actually clock him. I think I clocked him at 32. Funny enough.
My first degree I got the other day I got someone going 98 in the city.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. He was very apologetic, but I still obviously you can't let someone off going that fast.
Yeah. There's definitely discrepancy, but I tell people all the time that there's a time and place for a warning. We don't do warnings for 98 miles an hour. That's reckless as fuck.
And a good thing, I guess, like this is probably for your experience, like you've gotten to know a lot of the people you've given out probably enough warning, so you know if you pull this person over, you're like, oh, I gave this guy a warning already. I'm definitely not giving another one.
Yeah. I treat everything. I tell everybody gets a warning. Everybody gets one. After that one, it's game on, right? Let's see some other questions. Let me take a look here. Bear with me.
Yeah, take your time.
All right. What case law do you feel comfortable with? Do you feel like you're good with all case law now, at least, or do you feel like?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I that was the thing I struggle with the most after Academy. Because it's obviously like there's a lot of case laws and there's a lot to remember, but I have like I did a lot of studying, so I mean, you can ask me some questions and let me know if I'm on point or not.
Okay. Let's go with Tennessee versus Gardner.
That one is.
This is a very important one.
Yeah, it may use deadly force of a suspect fleeing. Officer must have good faith belief that the suspect is a threat or of death or injury to officers or others. I think that's like a good way to sum it up. Like essentially you can use deadly force of a suspect fleeing if they pose a significant threat of death or injury to others or officers, etc.
Another short way that I like to put it too is that Tennessee v. Gardner is it's sometimes referred to as fleeing felon, if you want to make that note.
Okay, yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah, so fleeing felon, where law enforcement may use deadly force if there's a belief that the suspect is a continued threat to public and law enforcement. The continued part is a very important one. If they continue to be a threat, deadly force is authorized.
Would you say that's the most common one that's like referred to like pretty often? I know Terry versus Ohio is obviously a big one.
It's also nicknamed the Terry Frisk. I like how everybody just stopped because they saw someone with fucking lights.
That's probably my favorite thing. Obviously, like this is a lot of like work beforehand, but that's why I feel like in the end, like I'm so excited to just like be able to go about business and you know conduct traffic stops and
45 is an animal carcass
out here. I'm excited.
And a 54, I believe, is livestock on I think specifically a highway, if I remember correctly. So sorry, no, you're 100% right. Terry v. Ohio, you said you knew?
Oh yeah, that's
Dispatch 11042. Y'all have a good night.
Have a good night, Cornwood.
Good night.
That's the one.
Have a great night.
Like
you
you
sold me
said.
a new babe.
What was it? Sorry.
It's like an officer may stop a suspect, and it's like you said, the Terry frisk him without probable cause, only if the officer has RS. That is like it has or
yeah, we
about
can't
to commit a crime.
We can't just go around frisking people. We can't walk, go up to somebody walking down the street. Yo, I'm just gonna frisk you.
You need
real
RS to
quick.
frisk.
Yeah.
That's an easy way to put it.
Do you know Pennsylvania versus Mims?
That's the one where when they're in a car, it's if you can order a suspect to get out of a car after so essentially you pull someone over, they're already detained. You can order them to get out of a car for the justification of officer safety, just because it's not a huge inconvenience to them. It's just a mere inconvenience. And then I think does that sum it up enough, or am I missing some?
Do you know why we'll sometimes ask the driver to step out too?
If there's like multiple occupants, like I actually had a situation yesterday where I pulled over it was a Seminole. It was occupied 3 times, and one of their passengers actually chucked a rock at our cruiser. So in that situation, I asked the driver to step out, and we actually had 77s coming for that anyways, but I asked the driver to step out.
133.
So that was kind of like
see y'all tomorrow.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, McNulty.
Have a great night.
McNulty.
Later.
So, yes. The other thing too, and people will ask you this: why do we typically use it in our day-to-day?
Guys from the Call of Duty. Oh shit, my radio.
The recent, or I guess not even the recent. The reason why we do a lot of the things that we do. If you don't know the answer to something, an FTO or a command member asks you, why do we do this? More times than not, most of the time, your response is officer safety. Officer safety is usually why we do things. It's safer to be out of the road on the sidewalk. It is a minor inconvenience for them, but it's also keeping you safe as well because you're in the middle of the road, right?
Right.
Traffic stops are the most dangerous things that we deal with. Do you know? I'm gonna throw a little bit of a curveball at you.
Okay.
This one isn't usually mentioned, but is good to know as well. Do you know Maryland v. Wilson?
Maryland v. Wilson. Is that on the SOPs? Like, is that actually a written one?
I don't know if that one is a written one, but it's a good one to know.
Okay. Well, yeah. I just like I hard studied the ones that were there, but I don't recall that.
Let me
one, to
take
be
a
honest with you.
look at our legislation and see if that one's noted. I don't know if it is, but this is a good one to know.
Okay. Yeah, I think the only ones that we haven't gone over are Carroll, Miranda versus Arizona, and
we'll
yeah,
get to
and
them.
Wyoming versus Houston.
Yeah, we'll get to those. So Maryland v. Wilson, I missed that. It's all good.
I didn't get on the radar either, so.
Maryland v. Wilson is one that you could use as well. And if someone tries to argue it, you could argue it potentially in court. Don't quote me on this, but I think it's good to know. Maryland v. Wilson is the same thing as Pennsylvania versus MIMS, except you are able to order the passenger out of the vehicle for the same reason.
Yeah, let me just look a note here.
No, you're good. In fact, I'm gonna make sure I'm not giving you bad information. That is the case law.
Dispatch, like 169.
I'm gonna ask Turner and make sure that we are
one silver and color SUV. I think it's the same one from before.
Authorized for that?
I want to make sure that I'm not going because I don't want to give you too much information, but I think it's a good one to know.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Hey, Cap, I had a really quick question for you.
Go for a flop.
So I'm just going over case law with Coco, and I brought up Pennsylvania versus MIMS.
Yeah.
And I asked him if he knew Maryland v. Wilson, and I realized in our legislation, Maryland v. Wilson is not noted, but I think it's a good one to know anyway. Should we be teaching that, or at least bringing up maybe Maryland v. Wilson, go ahead.
So Maryland v. Wilson, those standards still apply. It's just not observed here. So we couldn't state, in Maryland v. Wilson, that's what we applied to a situation. If you understand the grounds as to why it took place, you can use it, but you can't state it in a court of law saying, well, I applied Maryland v. Wilson. You have to explain the facts on why you did what you did.
Okay. All right. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't teaching like more than I should be, or, biting off more than I could chew. I just wanted to get clarification on that before I started.
I would not teach Maryland v. Wilson. I would teach the facts and the legalities behind what led to the result.
Okay. That works
That
for me.
makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
That works for me. I appreciate it, Cap.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so scratch that. I'm not going to be teaching you Maryland v. Wilson, but let me get you the exact verbiage on Maryland v. Wilson. I'll explain to you where it came from and kind of like why it came to be.
So does that I don't know if he declined that or not, but like does that still give us justification in certain situations? Like obviously, like does that still exist if I did need the passenger to get out?
we can't go into a courtroom and say that we applied Maryland v. Wilson,
right,
for letting the passenger just step out. But Maryland v. Wilson states that we can order passengers out of the vehicle, right? So in a situation where you feel like you need to order a passenger out of the vehicle, instead of going into court and stating, hey, I use Maryland v. Wilson, or, please, look at the case law Maryland v. Wilson. Instead of explaining it like that, just explain your reasoning as to why you needed or wanted the passenger to step out of the vehicle. We teach MIMS. My use case in court would be, Your Honor, I had based on the fact that we were on the highway, we had the driver step out of the vehicle and applied MIMS. However, during the time of the traffic stop, I needed to speak with the passenger, and I felt in the same light as I was speaking to the driver, I had asked and ordered the passenger to step out of the vehicle.
Right.
The other thing too, for example, if you're looking for maybe a weapon and you had the vehicle fleeing, you could have the driver step out. Hey, I'm going to be frisking you. It's possible somebody could have passed the weapon to a passenger. So if that were to go to court, you can also say, well, I have strong reason to believe at that time, with prior knowledge of the information we had before pulling the vehicle over, that it is possible that the weapon could have been transferred to the passenger.
Okay, that's understood.
So that's another way. So I'm not going to teach you the actual case law, but just understand it and know that if you ever have to apply it, if it comes to court, explain that to the judge instead of telling them Maryland v. Wilson. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Let's go over Miranda v. Arizona. This one's pretty easy and one you're going to use quite literally every day.
That's any statement a suspect in custody makes can essentially be used against him in a court of law.
Yeah.
If we read him his rights.
Yeah, Miranda v. Arizona is your Miranda rights. Whenever you have somebody detained, it is sort of your discretion in investigative purposes. If if sometimes officers will give like a witness statement, right? Or we'll get statements from like a witness. Me personally, I have a very investigative background. I got involved with investigations very heavily many years ago. I was a detective.
You give me detective vibes.
Yeah, I very much try and follow my line very simply on the things that I know that I'm good at, and I know that I'm good at like homicide work.
Yeah.
So typically in a situation where I'm dealing with a homicide, if I don't know if my witness or victim or person is involved in any way, shape, or form, I will always Mirandize them. However, we Mirandize people so they are aware of their rights. Do you know the Miranda rights, or I guess your iteration of them that gets the point across?
Yeah, I know them off by heart.
Okay. So without without reading off the Miranda rights, can you explain to me what the Miranda rights are? Like, just break down the Miranda rights in sections as to,
it essentially lets them know that they can not say a word, and if they do say any words, that it will be used against them. And it lets them know that they can get an attorney if they need to. And if they can't afford one, then they will obviously get one appointed to them. If available is a key word I've been taught that you must say.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is a very short summary of what it is.
The only piece that you
don't have to talk if they don't want
that's
to.
the one you missed. It is very important to know that in a situation where you read off their Miranda rights and they don't want to talk to you, they do not have to talk to you. In a situation where they request a lawyer, any and all questioning stops at that point forward until you get them a lawyer. If they try and ask you questions, you simply tell them, you've asked for a lawyer. I cannot speak to you until your lawyer is present. If there is no lawyer available, you can go back to them and say, I have attempted to contact a lawyer and get you in touch with an attorney. None were able to respond. Do you still wish to speak with me without your attorney present?
Okay.
That's a very important key detail. If you can't get a lawyer, which will happen more times than you think. And most of the time people will agree to talk to you, but sometimes people will say no. If they try and be combative about it, then at that point you can tell them, hey, these are the charges you're getting. If you would like to appeal them, you can contest them in court. For the date of today, you have 30 days from the date of today to contest the charges in court if you so wish. That will go on the docket. If it's something small or minor, or not even minor, but like even a couple felonies, bench trials do work too. So, no, Peter, all in-city case law is gone. But I make it a point that I think that we should, for sake of role play, stop any line of questioning.
Pretty well understood.
I think that's
the one situation I had where that got kind of drilled into my brain is because I read someone their rights and I didn't include if available, and I guess that's like
I think that is an important unspoken case law. I don't think we should be badgering people who ask for a lawyer.
Attorney available. So you need to make sure you let them know only if available.
Echo 20 is 76, the latest 911.
Hope everyone's having a good day today so far. I hope we're doing well. We're doing FTOing right now. Grab your
So
notepads.
that's only if they're available, right?
If you're just tuning in. What was that last part? Sorry. Like very last bit you said.
You have the right to like if you have the right to an attorney, one will be appointed to you if available is important, because if there isn't one around in the city, like they can just be like, oh well, he read me my rights and told me I get an attorney. But if you don't include if available, then they're gonna make a fuss about it, because that actually happened to me.
Yeah,